Hello there guys, welcome to one of my videos. On this video I am going to be giving you my starting 11 prediction ahead of our game against FC Copenhagen. We do play them tomorrow night at Old Trafford, 8 o'clock kickoff in the Europa League quarter final. Now let's get on with it. So I do expect Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to make changes from our win against Lask recently. And to be honest with you, I don't think Solskjaer will be prepared to take any risks. So I think he's going to go with a strong 11. So, in goal, Solskjaer's got a decision to make who he's going to go with in goal. Personally speaking, I would put Sergio Romero in goal. Obviously, Sergio Romero was in goal against Lask, wasn't he? And Sergio Romero obviously does play in our cup games. Obviously, played in all our FA Cup games this season, apart from, the FA Cup semi-final. But he's still a good goalkeeper, Sergio Romero. Obviously, we know that he's nowhere near good enough to become our number one. I think there's a possibility chance that we could sell Sergio Romero in this summer transfer window. I think we'd probably demand around £5 or £6 million for him. He is now in his 30s. Romero has got a contract with the football club until 2021, so he's got like a year or just under a year left on his contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for the further year. I heard recently that Leeds United were interested in Sergio Romero, but if Dean Henderson stays at Manchester United, then obviously Romero will be our third choice goalkeeper for next season, and he obviously he won't want to be third choice. But Romero, has been quite a long servant. We got him in 2015 on a free from San Pandora. But personally speaking, I think we need to put Dean Henderson as number one for next season. It does recently say that we have been in talks with Dean Henderson's agent over getting him a new deal at the club. Reportedly, Man United have offered Dean Henderson around £60,000 a week. So that means his wages will increase by 5 times. But personally speaking, I think Dean Henderson has got that experience behind him now because he's enjoyed 2 successful loans with Sheffield United. He has been Sheffield United's player of the season. He's also had other loan spells as well, with Stockport, Shrewsbury. He's had loan spells with. We did actually get Dean Henderson from Carlisle back in 2011. Obviously, we got him at the age of 14. Dean Henderson's current contract at Manchester United runs until 2022. But Solskjaer, was talking about Dean Henderson recently, and he did say he don't think he's ready, to become Man United's number one goalkeeper. And he also did say towards the end of the season that he expects Dean Henderson, on the other hand, to become England's number one goalkeeper and Manchester United's number one goalkeeper in the future. So whether we put Dean Henderson as number one for next season, I do not know. But obviously, if we don't assure that he's going to be number one, then Dean Henderson's made it clear that he does want to leave the football club. David De Gea has been our number one for several years. But I don't think he's good enough anymore to be our number one. Overall, he's still regarded as one of the best goalkeepers in the world, reflecting on what he's achieved at the football club. Obviously, he's won everything domestically, he's won individual awards, reflects on his good performances over the years. De Gea has made 404 appearances for Manchester United in all competitions, and he's made around 312 appearances in the Premier League. And Solskjaer was talking about De Gea the other week, saying that he has been the best goalkeeper in the world for the last 9 or 10 years. But he has been a long term. But De Gea has had 7 good years out of the 9 years he's been at Manchester United. Obviously, last September we got him a new contract worth $375,000 a week. So he's the highest paid goalkeeper in the world, and he is the highest paid at the football club. Some United fans have said, we should sell De Gea in this summer transfer window. we'd get a huge profit on him. You know, we paid just over £18 million from Atletico Madrid back in 2011. I think if we sold him in this summer transfer window, we'd probably get around £60 million or something like that. Back in 2015, don't forget, De Gea was close to joining Real Madrid, but due to a fax machine, the deal never materialised. So, I think in this game against Copenhagen, Solskjaer's going to go with De Gea in goal, but I think, he should go with Sergio Romero. At right back, I think Solskjaer is going to go with Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, Wan-Bissaka didn't play any part in our 2-1 win against Lask recently. Wan-Bissaka, I think, has enjoyed a pretty good season for Manchester United. Obviously, we got him from Crystal Palace last summer in a deal worth around £50 million. And I think his defensive contributions always been very, very good. But we just need to see more attacking intent from Bissaka. That's what's letting him down. Towards the end of the season, though, Bissaka did look a bit off the pace and he did look fatigued. But he'll start him in this game against FC Copenhagen. We've obviously now got other options at right back as well. Obviously, we've got that Ethan Laird. He got promoted into the senior squad not too long ago. We've also got Fosu Mensah. He played in the game against Lask in the second leg. Fosu Mensah, who did play a couple of our league games towards the end of the season. Obviously, played in the Crystal Palace one. That was his first appearance for Man United in over 3 years. Also, too, he did play in the 1-1 draw with West Ham. But don't forget, Fosu Mensah was out with injury for a long time. Diego Dalot is now available, but I don't see Man United starting him. Dalot has been recently back in training, like Solskjaer confirmed. Don't forget, Diego Dalot wasn't part of the squad for the game against Lask recently. I think Diego Dalot's probably one of the players that's going to leave Man United in the summer. Don't forget, he recently said that Everton have expressed their interest, and Everton believe that they can get Dalot for around £10 million. Because obviously Everton are in search for fullbacks. Because obviously Leighton Baines, Everton had him but he retired. Obviously, same as Coman's knocking on. So, yeah. We did get Diego Dalot in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window. Obviously, we paid £19 million for him. And obviously, Dalot's got a contract with the club till 2023. I think PSG and Barcelona have also been interested in him before. But he only made 11 appearances this season, Dalot, in all competitions. And I think he only made one start in the Premier League. He did have back-to-back injuries earlier on in the season. But like I mentioned, yeah, we'll start Wan-Bissaka at right back. Centre-halves, I think we'll go with Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire. Victor Lindelof has recently been back in training. Don't forget, he didn't play any part against Lask in the second leg. Not because of injury, just I think Solskjaer just decided to rest him. Victor Lindelof, my perception on him, I think he's had some good games for Manchester United and he's also had some bad games. Obviously, Victor Lindelof has endured 3 years at the football club. Obviously, we did get him from Benfica back in 2017 for like £30 million. And I thought definitely Lindelof didn't settle in straight away, so he struggled for that consistency in his first season under Mourinho. But I think last season and the season that's just finished, I think a lot of aspects of his game have improved. They really, really have. But Victor Lindelof is one of our first choice centre-halves anyway. So yeah, Harry Maguire, obviously he actually played in the second leg against Lask. Maybe he could be rested for this game. We could go with Bailly and Lindelof instead of Harry Maguire and Lindelof. But I think Harry Maguire will keep his place in the team. Again, Harry Maguire has had he's been up and down, hasn't he? He's had some good games for Man United and he's also had some bad games. Some Man United fans don't think he's good enough to captain the team. We obviously give Harry Maguire the captaincy, reflecting on Ashley Young's departure from the club in January. But I think he's done okay in his first season. Obviously, as it stands at the moment, Harry Maguire is our second most expensive signing. And he is the most expensive centre-half in the world. I think he's scored 3 goals for the club so far. His goals came against Tranmere, Chelsea in the league, and he did score in the game against Norwich. Did Harry Maguire. Obviously, Phil Jones, there's a possibility chance he could be involved because I think he's now close to returning to injury, but definitely won't start the game. Obviously, Axel Tuanzebe and Luke Shaw are definitely ruled out. Tuanzebe is going to be out with injury until the new season, and so too is Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, of course, is out with an ankle injury. This has been Luke Shaw's 6th season at Manchester United. Obviously, we got him from Southampton back in 2014 for like £30 million. And Luke Shaw's our first choice left back, and he has been our first choice left back for a while. And to be honest with you, he probably will remain our first choice left back for next season because obviously, he's experienced, is Luke Shaw. But he's not going to be available for this game. But I think overall, he's had a pretty good season. Obviously, missed the first part of the season with injury, but then came back and did very, very well. And then obviously, sustained this ankle injury towards the end of the Premier League season. So yeah, left back we'll go with Brandon Williams, obviously, because Shaw isn't available. I definitely believe that Brandon Williams has enjoyed a very, very good season for Man United. This was his first full season in the senior squad. We had the good news regarding Brandon Williams recently. He signed a 4-year deal with the football club, and plus he is an option of a further year. So he's going to be under contract with the club until 2024. Brandon Williams did make his debut in the EFL Cup against Rochdale. And he made his first Premier League start against Brighton. And I think he scored his professional goal against Sheffield United. But I definitely believe in the next couple of years, Williams will become our first choice left back, when he has got a bit more experience behind him. Midfield, I think we're going to go with Fred and McTominay. Obviously, Fred and McTominay did play in the 2-1 win against Lask. My perception on Fred, I think he's had a okay season for Man United. I definitely do believe that he has confounded his critics wrong as Fred, because Fred did receive a lot of criticism under the Jose Mourinho era. But there again, under the Jose Mourinho era, Fred never really got his opportunities, did he? He's on that list as one of our most expensive signings, is Fred, because we did pay like £52 million in from Shakhtar Donetsk in the summer of 2018. And I also thought Fred was an exceptional player during his time in Ukraine. I really, really did. So yeah, overall had a pretty good season. There's some Manchester United fans and there's some pundits out there that don't think Fred is good enough for the club and we should consider, maybe selling the player. But I don't think it's going to happen. Tominway, I think he's had a pretty good season for Manchester United. Like I said, he was out with an ankle injury earlier on in the season. It wasn't so long ago that McTominay signed a 5-year deal at the football club. This actually got confirmed before our game against Sheffield United. That was the second game after lockdown, wasn't it? Don't forget. And that's when it got announced that McTominay had signed a new deal. But I think he deserved a 5-year deal, reflecting how good he's been throughout the course of this season. But like I said, Fred and McTominay weren't getting starts towards the end of the season because obviously, Matic was getting there ahead of Fred and McTominay and that. Maybe Matic, could be involved in this game against Copenhagen. I don't think he'll start. Obviously, Matic didn't play any part in the 2-1 win against Lask recently. Wasn't so long ago that we give Matic a new 3-year deal at the football club, but I think he also deserved a new contract at Man United. This has been Matic's 3rd season at Man United. Obviously, we got him from Chelsea back in 2017 in a deal worth around £40 million. And I think he has made over 100 appearances now for the football club and he is in his 30s. But a lot of aspects of Matic's game have improved. Keeps the ball better, passes the ball better. Decision making's also improved. So I've been very, very, impressed with him. I think we're going to put Paul Pogba in the number 10 ahead of Fred and McTominay. Paul Pogba didn't play against Lask. Well, he didn't start against Lask, should I say, recently, but he did come off the bench, did Pogba. Now, like I said, I haven't really had a perception on Paul Pogba this season. Well, for the vast majority of the season I haven't, because obviously, he was out with that ankle injury, was Pogba. And, he was out for quite a while. But, Paul Pogba has sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player. Obviously, this has been Paul Pogba's 4th season at the club since he rejoined from Juventus back in 2016. And, Paul Pogba is our most expensive signing at the moment because, we did pay £89 million for the player. But I think, his combination with Bruno Fernandes in our midfield's been absolutely fantastic. I've spoken to you about Paul Pogba on a video that I did this morning. Solskjaer, of course, believes Pogba will stay at the football club, and he believes that Pogba will sign a new long-term contract at Man United. Now, you had Fabrizio Romano, who's a very reliable Italian journalist. He came out, was it last week, and he said that Paul Pogba's happy at Man United, and he said he wants to stay at the football club, and he says we will enter negotiations with his agent Mino Raiola over getting him a new contract. I think we'll be looking to get Paul Pogba a 4 or a 5 year deal, but we need to get him a new long-term contract to end the uncertainty over his future, because he has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. He really, really has. And but as it stands at the moment, Pogba's just got under a year left on his Man United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. Pogba's made over 100 appearances for the club in all competitions since we got him from Juventus back in 2016. Paul Pogba did well towards the end of the Premier League season. Thought he did well when he came on against Tottenham, first game after lockdown. Did well in the Sheffield United win. Created the most chances in that game. I think he did well in the Villa game. Obviously scored his first goal for the club since April 2019. Some United fans will say, we should give Paul Pogba the captaincy and obviously, take it off Harry Maguire. Or obviously, give Bruno Fernandes the captaincy. These other options to give the captaincy to then Harry Maguire. So yeah, him in the number 10. Bruno Fernandes, think he'll be rested. He won't start the game, but possibly could be involved. Bruno Fernandes didn't play any part in the game against Lask recently. I think Bruno Fernandes has definitely enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. I think he scored like 10 goals for the football club in all competitions since his arrival from Sporting Lisbon in January. He has won player of the month 3 times as Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, I think he won it in June. He won it in March, and I think he also won it in February. But what a player he has been, Bruno Fernandes. I think he also did very, very well on his debut in the Premier League against Wolves when we drew 0-0. I think he actually had the most touches in that game, did Bruno Fernandes. But we did get him in a deal in January worth around £65 million with add-ons included. So yeah, I think we'll put Paul Pogba in the number 10. I think on the left-hand side, we are going to start Daniel James on that left-hand side. Daniel James did play in the game against Lask recently. To be honest with you, I think Man United are considering loaning Daniel James out for next season because when we do sign Sancho, because I think we're going to sign Sancho, Daniel James isn't going to get in the team at all. And look at it, towards the end of the Premier League season, he weren't getting starts because obviously Mason Greenwood was getting there ahead of Daniel James. I think, still overall though, Daniel James enjoyed a very, very good season in the Premier League. Played around 30 odd games in the Premier League for us this season. Obviously, we got Daniel James last summer from Swansea for just £15 million, so he was a cheap solution. When we've played him this season, we've actually put him on that right. But Daniel James is actually supposed to be more effective from that left-hand side and that. But I think he'll start on the left. And I think Marcus Rashford won't start against Copenhagen. Could be involved, like I said, but I don't think he'll start. Rashford obviously didn't play any part in the game against Lask recently. He was rested. Rashford, he's done okay throughout the course of the season. He's done okay as Marcus Rashford. Obviously, at the start of the season, didn't really make an impact. Then obviously, was out with that back injury for a while. Don't forget, was Rashford. He was out with that back injury for a few months, I think it was. Towards the end of the season, though, he did quite well. Rashford, you know, scored is at like 20 odd goals in all competitions for the club this season. On the right hand side, on the right wing that is, I think we're going to put Jesse Lingard on that right wing. I think he'll get given another chance, will Jesse Lingard. He did obviously, you know, start in the game against Lask recently. I thought he was one of our best players against Lask. I really, really did. Obviously, you know, showed good attacking intent. Obviously, you know, scored our equaliser. And Jesse Lingard, to be fair to him, you know, has scored in our last 2 games. And that, you know, he scored in his last 2 games for the club. And, you know, he scored against Lask, and he also scored in the game against Leicester on the final day of the Premier League season. When he scored against Leicester, that was his first goal for the football club since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first game in charge. So that just indicates how inconsistent he has been. Obviously, Lingard's got just under a year left in his current contract at Man United, but the club do have an option to extend it for the further year. You know, Lingard's been part of the club for several years, and, you know, Everton have recently been in for him, and it's recently said that we have put him up for sale. I think we will sell him in this summer transfer window, but Solskjaer's an admirer of the player because Solskjaer coached Jesse Lingard as a youth player and that. So I think he'll play on that right-hand side. And I think up top, it will be Anthony Martial. It will be Anthony Martial, yeah. Obviously, you know, Martial didn't start the game against Lask. But he did come off the bench, and obviously he got the winner, did Anthony Martial. And, you know, what a season Anthony Martial has endured for Manchester United. You know, 23 goals in all competitions this season for the football club. This has been his 5th year at Man United, so he's been a long servant. But I think Anthony Martial has had 2 good years out of the 5 years he's been at the club. He's done well this season under Solskjaer, and he did well in his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. He really, really did. And throughout the course of this season, he has been playing in that number 9, so he's been playing central, and I think we'll keep him in that central position, Martial. But yeah, you know, we did pay around £36 million to him for Monaco. So yeah, there's your starting 11 prediction. Mason Greenwood, you know, I don't think he'll start, but I think he will be involved in the game. He could start, Mason Greenwood, you know. Obviously, didn't play any part in the game against Lask recently. I think Mason Greenwood's enjoyed a very, very good season for Man United. He was his first full season in the senior squad. But I think Mason Greenwood is the foreseeable future for the football club. Modi Igalo, I don't think he'll start, but I think he could come on in the game. Igalo did actually start the game against Lask recently. I think he was the player that registered our first shot on target against Lask. I think Igalo has actually done well for Man United. He really, really has. Got him on deadline day in January. Got him on loan. Obviously, the main explanation why I bought Igalo in, because obviously, of Marcus Rashford's injury. Because at the time we bought him in, Rashford was out with injury in that. Don't forget, Igalo was our top goal scorer in the FA Cup this season. Just before the resumption of the season, don't forget we had extended his loan until January 2021. I think after his loan he'll probably go back to Shanghai Shenhua, unless we enter negotiations over possibly getting him permanently, I don't know. Juan Mata, he started the game against Lask recently, don't forget. He got both of our assists for Lingard and Martial's goals. And I thought he had a very, very good game against Lask, did Mata. Could be involved in this one, but I don't think he'll start against Copenhagen. Mata doesn't get in the team a lot now, does he? But when he does, he still does make an impact. This has been Juan Mata's 6th season at the football club. Obviously, we got him from Chelsea back in 2014 for just under £40 million, Juan Mata. But I think we'll keep him for next season. I don't see us selling Juan Mata in this summer transfer window and that. Obviously, we've got a lot of young players coming through as well that could get given an opportunity during this Europa League campaign. We've got that Ethan Laird, we've got Ethan Galbraith. Like I said, we have got James Garner. Tahith Chong, he came on against Lask. Tiden Mengi, don't forget, he made his debut against Lask recently because he did come off the bench. So there's a lot of young players coming through, and like I said, I think Solskjaer's promoted the youth very, very well. We've got Andres Pereira as well. You know, there's a possibility chance he could be involved against FC Copenhagen. But like I said, Solskjaer is going to make changes. I think, you know, we're going to beat Copenhagen tomorrow. Like I said, it is our 26th European quarter-final. We are looking to reach our second European semi-final since Alex Ferguson's retirement. Now, obviously, the winners of us and Copenhagen do play the winners of Wolves or Sevilla in the Europa League semi-final. You know, I think we're definitely, you know, going to get to the semi-final. The last time we played FC Copenhagen, I think, was back in the Champions League group stages back in the 2006-07 season. You know, I think we lost to them 1-0 at their ground, but we're beating them 3-0 at Old Trafford. Obviously, Copenhagen progressed to the quarter-final by beating Istanbul Başakşehir in the previous round. They did beat them 3-0, but obviously, you know, there was 1-0 down from the first leg. But I think Man United now are the favourites to win the Europa League. We are the favourites to win the Europa League. Like I said, I think we're going to win the Europa League. You know, we have won the Europa League before. Obviously, you know, won it back under Jose Mourinho in 2017. But if we win the Europa League, it will be our first trophy under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And it will be our first trophy in over 3 years. You know. So this is why I want us to win the Europa League. And Solskjaer has said winning the Europa League as Man United manager would be a great achievement. It would be one of the greatest achievements. So what it means is it would surpass 1999, because we did win the treble back in 1999, and that's obviously, you know, one of the club's greatest achievements. But that's over 20 years ago now. But it was definitely one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's most iconic moments, you know, as a player, of when obviously, you know, we won the treble, because obviously Solskjaer had scored the winner. But definitely the Europa League is a priority for us. Like I said, so far Solskjaer has exceeded expectations, because obviously, you know, we got qualification for the Champions League. I'm very, very glad we got qualification for the Champions League, because obviously now I think, you know, we're going to do some good recruitment in this summer transfer window, and I think we're going to get the players that we do want in. We also finished third, and I think that was a fantastic achievement. Don't forget as well, we've already progressed to 2 semi-finals. We progressed to the EFL Cup semi-final, and we also progressed to the FA Cup semi-final. So you can say Solskjaer's done very, very well in his first full season at the football club. The way things were going earlier on in the season, you wouldn't have thought he'd have exceeded expectations, because earlier on in the season we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season for 30 years. And at that point, you know, Solskjaer was close to getting sacked as Manchester United manager. But obviously, you know, he didn't. But winning the Europa League, you know, he'll exceed all expectations. He really, really will. And obviously, next season is the big test for Solskjaer. It really, really is. Because next season, he knows that he'll have bigger expectations to exceed. And obviously, he's got to exceed his expectations to remain in the Man United job. But next season will be Solskjaer's second full season at the football club. I expect Man United to challenge for the title next season. I don't expect us to win it, though. Because we have got to spend money to compete with the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. You know, we really, really have. And, you know, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. So the last time we won it was in Alex Ferguson's last season. You know, we are the most successful team in Premier League history. Obviously, you know, we've won 20 titles and 13 of them are Premier Leagues and all of that. But we haven't won it, you know, for 7 years now. So, you know, I want us to be up there challenging next season. But like I said, Solskjaer has got big decisions to make in this summer transfer window. You know, of obviously what players he's going to recommend in and what players he is going to get rid of. You know, Solskjaer did say he wants Man United to make around 3 signings in this summer transfer window. I think Ed Woodward has said he wants Man United to make around 3 or 4 signings, and we obviously know that Solskjaer's identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up, because there's still deficiencies in the squad. Obviously, earlier on in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial career, he had worked out his transfer strategy, and he's basically said he wants to recruit young British talents to Manchester United. He really, really does. But Solskjaer's already outlined his transfer plans. You know, he's obviously instructed our board to go and get his preferred targets, because in this summer transfer window, Solskjaer knows he's got the backing of the board, he's got the backing of Ed Woodward, and he's also got the backing of the Glazers. You know, transfer budget's already been revealed. You know, we've got around £140 million to spend. Obviously, if we get Sancho, then the vast majority of that money will be gone. But let's put into the equation, we are going to sell players in this summer transfer window, so our transfer budget will increase that way. I think we're going to sell at least 6 or 7 players in this summer transfer window. We're also going to loan some players out as well, so you know they can get regular first team football. I've already gone through with you, I think, the players that Man United are going to get rid of in this summer transfer window and that. So big decisions have to be made, and like I've said, Tino Solskjaer has got a goalkeeping decision to make. He really, really has. But like I said, you know, Solskjaer has been at the football club now over a year and a half, and I think he has been permanent Manchester United manager for around 16 or 16 and a half months. You know, the main explanation why I would give Solskjaer the job permanently was reflecting on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager and that. And I've seen improvements under him. You know, like I said, we've recruited better under Solskjaer. You know, we've spent just over £200 million so far since Solskjaer came in, and he has made 4 permanent signings at the club. You know, he's, like I said, he promoted the youth well. He's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into Manchester United. I think his decision making, you know, has slightly improved. We have extended a lot of players' contracts as well since he came into the football club. So there is positive to take so far. There really, really is. But Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding this Man United team, because the vast majority of this team is not Solskjaer's. You know, the vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's. Still a few players here from the Van Gaal era, Moyes here from the Matter era. Matter here from the Moyes era, and still a few players here from the Alex Ferguson era. But let's put into the equation, Solskjaer is inheriting them. And I think players have definitely improved under Solskjaer. They really, really have. Especially the top players in that. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon.